It is hard to believe that it is almost May. Yet, we have one more race before the Indy cars come to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the month of May. It is the Children's Grand Prix of Alabama at Barber Motorsports Park. They call it the Augusta National. The grass looked a little off this year for them to be calling it the Augusta National of Motorsports, but we're going to go through the race picks for today's race. Now, I just watched the morning warm-up, gave me my final lean on who I'm going to bet on in this particular race. I am going to say that even though I wasn't allowed to bet on the non-points paying race over in Thermal, I was going to say Alex Palou is going to win that race, and he did. Won the $1 Million Challenge. They gave the win to Pato O'Ward. I did bet on Scott Dixon last week, so technically I'm 3 for 3 on the year. I'm going to try and make it a perfect 4 for 4 going into the Indy 500 week, month, whatever you want to call it. So on the poll, we've got last year's winner. Now, I was right in this race last year. Scott McLaughlin, he is a 2-1 favorite. Will Power, his teammate, 3.5 to 1. They said that Will Power had a stomach issue or something going on in morning warm-up, that he needed to use the bathroom really bad after he got out of the car. Now, it could just be nothing, but he could also have a little bit of dizziness because the track is very, very up and down, undulating. You just never know with drivers, and maybe he had something that didn't agree with his stomach the night before. So he's 3.5 to 1. Pato O'Ward, who was the winner in St. Pete after they disqualified Newgarden, he's 6 to 1. He's really starting near the front here. I think the fact that he got gifted a win throughout the week is going to boost his confidence mightily going into the month of May. I expect him to make some he has got a Chevy power, but you never really know with Chevy versus Honda. Last year it was Chevy. A couple years ago it was Honda. So who knows what's going to happen with 500, but I do think Pato O'Ward and the McLaren team is going to get it right coming up very soon. Christian Lundgaard, a Rahal Letterman Lanigan driver, 6.5 to 1. Joseph Newgarden starting 8th. He didn't make the Firestone Fast 6, but he's starting near the front, and man, is he ever going to be hungry, just like his teammate, who's the pole sitter. Joseph Newgarden was very fast in morning warm-up. He's 9 to 1. Alex Palou, who was extremely fast in Q1 yesterday, only to not make it out of Q2. So he's going to start in the 13th position, I believe, and which is really shocking, given the fact that he is one of the better drivers this year. He's 10 to 1. Scott Dixon, his teammate, 15 to 1. Marcus Armstrong, starting near the front, 16 to 1. Romain Grosjean, 18 to 1. I just don't trust that guy to ever win a race. I think he's just going to crash out of every race. And then he'll always have a smile on his face at the next race. So it is what it is. Kyle Kirkwood, they've struggled this year. He's 18 to 1. Graham Rahal did not make it into Q3, which would be the Firestone Fast 6. He's 20 to 1. Felix Rosenquist, who was the pole sitter in the first 2 races of the season, he's also 20 to 1. Colton Herta, 25 to 1, starting much, much deeper in the field. Marcus Ericsson, 30 to 1. Alexander Rossi, 60 to 1. Some really big long shots here, depending on if you think that some of these guys are going to get a chance to win and move near the front. Rinus VeeKay, who was very fast in practice yesterday, only to find himself mired much, much deeper in the field than he would have thought. He is 100 to 1. Tom Blomqvist, 100 to 1. Theo Pourchaire, 150 to 1. Linus Lundqvist, Christian Rasmussen also at 150 to 1 each. Santino Ferrucci, Kiffin, Simpson, and you go down the list from there to take some real long shots, depending on if you really think they're going to be a late race caution or some kind of pit weird issue going on where some of these guys that are 300 to 500 to 1 are going to get a chance to win. I just don't think it's going to happen. So I base a lot of my results or my predictions for the results on final practice. So final practice, Alex Palou and Joe Newgarden, Pato O'Ward, and Scott McLaughlin were all near the front. They're all starting near-ish the front. This track, historically, I've looked back the last 8 years, you don't have a ton of chances where a guy comes from well deep in the field, like 14 or back, and gets up into the front row or up into the winning podium. You just never know. There can be a first time for everything. We said that last week about Long Beach, where the guys come traditionally from the top 4 starts on the grid, and then Scott Dixon somehow pulled off magic last week to win the race on a 2 or 3 stop strategy, something like that. Anyway, you get the point. Then the other thing here at Barber, because it's a 90-lap race and it's over 200 miles, traditionally there are 2 different tactics taken in the race. There are guys that try to get off tires as they're starting to fall off, so they go to a 3-stop strategy to get back on a winning type pace. Then you get guys that try, like last year, Grosjean, who was the pole sitter, tried for a 2-stop strategy, less tire changes, less time in the pits, and then only to be taken out of the lead by Scott McLaughlin later in the race. But what I will say, I think almost every guy this year is going to go with a 3-stop strategy unless you're starting way deep in the field. But I just cannot see that. I can't see Rahal Letterman going with a 2-stop strategy. I can't see Team Penske going with 2-stop strategies. 3 stops worked great for them last year. You're just going to have to throw a dart there. Maybe Grosjean tries the 2-stop strategy again, and he's 18-1. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to the picks. So, on the pole, Scott McLaughlin. Got my handy-dandy Parkside IndyCar trading cards here to serve as props. Scott McLaughlin, 2-1. I bet on him last year to win. He is 29th in points right now. He is hungry as all get out because of that controversy that disqualified him from the race in St. Pete. I'm not going to bet against him today. So at 2-1, I will take Scott McLaughlin, but begrudgingly because I don't like to bet on favorites. I usually don't like to bet on favorites because of the fact that you just can't make a ton of money on a favorite. 2-1 doesn't leave a lot of opportunity, especially if you bet on 3 or 4 guys. You got to get the ratios right to get a chance to come out slightly ahead. My next pick is going to be Pato O'Ward at 6-1. Now, he was gifted a win, like I said. He was gifted the win at St. Pete over the week here on Wednesday, and I think that's going to bode well for his confidence. They're going to get a chance to get a race win on track that actually has a proper celebration. So at 6-1, I'm going to bet on Pato O'Ward. I am going to bet on Joe Newgarden to be hungry as you know what, given the fact that he was disqualified from that race. He led much of Long Beach and was punted by Colton Herta, and then Scott Dixon kind of ran away with it at the end and really held off Colton Herta. But I think Joe Newgarden's got something for the team and the fans today in store, given the fact that he has got a huge chip on his shoulder trying to get back on the winning ways. He's moved from 1st to 11th in the championship, so every single race matters. Bet on Joe Newgarden at 9-1. And then last but not least, Alex Palou. I don't know why he did not make the Firestone Fast 6 yesterday. His car is blazing fast. The fastest practice times of the entire weekend have been put up by him, but for some reason in Q2, he just didn't get it done and didn't make it out of Q2, and lo and behold, finds himself a little bit further back than I think he was expecting. So I'm going to still bet on him because I think he's got a fast race car. He's a previous winner here, and I'm going to go with him to get it done today. So if you haven't noticed already, every single one of these guys that I picked, get them all on the screen, every single one of these guys is a previous Barber winner. Joe Newgarden winning a couple times, Pato O'Ward winning 2 years ago, Scott McLaughlin winning last year, and then Alex Palou winning 3 years ago. So those are my 3 drivers to go with today. Wish me luck. If you're betting, wish yourself luck. Enjoy the race, and thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one.